So you're talking about meeting Wayne Gordon.
Yeah, and there's a book called Moving On, and actually, wait, I want to go back. So I met, because Tommy Manning was one of the first other advocates that I met over on the other side, and through him I met a gal named Penny Condyle, who is kind of my cohort. She was my partner, more or less, and partner in crime in a lot of what I do. And she's the peacekeeper. She has a little more common sense than I do. I still have a problem with people that say one thing and do something else, and I can't not say it. I have to call a turd, and it's just what I do, and that gets me in more trouble more times than not. And so politically, I let her handle the political end of it, and I'll put it off and let her deal with it, because politically it all has to work together, and you don't necessarily always have to call something what it is. So she's real good at that, but it's when we really started growing, creating support group grants. We give some grants out through a few contracts we have, and then we found this Moving On, and it's personal futures planning for people with brain injury, and we talked with him for a while, and he gave me permission to readapt it, and so I rewrote the curriculum. I still called it Moving On and gave him credit, because it was basically based on what he was doing, but I just needed to adapt it to
When you say he,
Wayne Gordon,
okay,
and Beth, his wife, I can't remember her last name, but it was actually rewritten from a developmental disability thing, and they rewrote it, and so I took that and rewrote it to fit the needs that I had of specific populations. And we used it here on a college level. I've used it in the high school level, and I've used it on community levels, and so there's 3 different versions, and it's basically just coming up with that initial plan. Who am I? Where do I see myself? Where do I want to go? Just kind of like anyone would do. Just kind of a plan in life. Figuring that you don't get point A to point B without a plan. And then everything that goes with that. Supports, doctors, and all that. And so we helped people for a couple of years with that process, and great process. But then all of a sudden, people started graduating that program. So this year I came out with a new product. It's called Moving In, and this one's...
So it's moving on and moving in.
Yeah, now it's moving in, right? And I based that one on... That one I'm the author of, but I based it on some work I did with a couple practicum students that were working with Dr. Judd. And so I used his... he did a TBI study, which is pretty good. And I used a lot of... Wayne Gordon's pretty brilliant. People don't know how brilliant he is. He's done the homeless studies, the mentor program over in New York, and so... I'm looking around who has done good things, and there's really been some good things done over the years, but they've all fell apart because of money. It comes down to money, and they couldn't sustain them. And so the moving in is where you're at. At a certain point, you're going to get. You might cognitively get better, you might mature or whatever, but you have to accept who you are and make the best of what you have. And that's what that is. You may not be able to do what you did, but what do you want to do? What do you like now?
So